Turning to new poll numbers for President Biden. Things are looking great. JK, they're very bleak. A new Fox News poll showing a shocking 57% disapproving of the president's job in office. That same poll found President Biden trailing former President Trump by 4 points. Nikki Haley, he trails her by 6 points in hypothetical 2024 matchups. He ran even at 47% with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. And now President Biden is reportedly getting fed up with those numbers, by gum. A new Washington Post headline claims he's grown increasingly frustrated by his string of dismal polls. Things are getting so bad that even former President Obama is reportedly quite worried. The Wall Street Journal writing, quote, those concerns include former President Barack Obama, who knows this is going to be a close race and, quote, feels that Democrats very well could lose, end quote, the 2024 election, according to a person familiar with his thinking, who may or may not be Barack Obama. So, Harris, my question is, if the Obamas really want to help President Biden, we know that Hillary has pledged her support and she's going to go stump for the president. Why doesn't Michelle Obama go out there, arguably the most popular Democrat in the bullpen?
I don't know. I mean, I'd like to think that there is nothing at play here, that, you know, the vice president, Kamala Harris, you don't want another person upstaging her, perhaps more popular even than the vice president and the president combined at this point. Maybe that would be part of it. But I do find it really interesting that the president, when asked about this, said that they were looking at the wrong polls.
Yes.
Well, which ones would he like for us to look at? Because I haven't seen any that are great. And if we look at the economy, it only gets worse. And if we look at the border, it only gets worse. So which ones do you think he wants us to focus on? You can't ignore this. I can't believe they don't have a plan B. The percentage of people who want anybody but Biden is a lot. So what are they thinking?
Well, I don't know what they're thinking, because what they're telling the American people, especially people who are hurting, is this is the greatest economy ever. So why aren't the polls reflecting
a couple
that?
Things. One of the great things about this job right now, being an analyst, is that everybody's right until they vote. So everything we say can be legitimate, and that's my jumping off point. I've always been surprised. I don't know what this means. If it means anything, it may just be nothing. But how few times Barack Obama has been to the White House since Joe Biden's been elected president. I don't know if that reflects more of their personal relationship, whether or not he's taken a step back. But I do believe Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, they will be out there come late 2024, and they will campaign hard. Here's what I think about all the poll numbers. It's a great parlor game. I think it's entirely too early right now to, and these numbers are going to change too. I wrote down the 5 variables that I think are worth watching come 2024.
Break it down.
All right, ready? The Fed.
Oh, yeah.
What are they going to do?
They're going to lower interest rates.
Well, when? Is it March? Is it June? Or is it
but
neither?
they're flat right now. They didn't go
with the
anywhere.
election.
That's why I'm here today, to start this conversation.
Right.
Well, when you bring notes,
and if and
you
when
get
they,
response.
If and when they do, and if they do lower rates, you're going to look at your 401k in late August. You're going to go, honey, it's not so bad after all. That could have an impact. Number 2, the border. Will Joe Biden cut a deal with Republicans? A responsible deal that actually changes the influx of migrants in the border. Hang on, I'm not done. Number 3, talking with Carl about this earlier this morning.
Isn't he Irish?
Money. Am I? I'm German.
Okay.
Essen, 1876.
All right.
The DNC versus the RNC. The DNC is raising a lot of money. Keep an eye on that. Number 4, high tech, social media. The RNC or the DNC, who is able to reach voters in those closing months of the campaign? So far, the DNC has done a brilliant job. Republicans are trying to catch up.
Well, they have a
we'll
head
see whether or
start.
not they will. And the last thing I wrote down is, who is third-party viable? Meaning, who can get on a state ticket, and in which states, and are they battleground states? And if so, who can subtract numbers away from Biden and or who the Republican
Great question.
nominee will
Bobby
be, which
Kennedy
probably
Jr. has
Donald Trump.
21% of a projected
And
vote
we
in that category of not Democrat, not Republican.
As of today, we do not know yet which states Robert Kennedy will be viable for.
Yes, but he seems
That's
to be
it.
hurting President Biden more than former President Trump when pollsters do include him in a 3-way
Yep.
matchup.
I would say that because of the condition of the economy, the condition of the world, everything's on fire, the usual details might not even matter so much when it comes to how people are making their decisions. It's not a casual decision now because the future seems to be cloudy. So I would suggest that those polls, while are not specific, I mean, the presidential race is not a national race, right? It's state by state. But it shows you the trend. Americans are looking, and we see this trend of people turning, including independents, to Trump. And that's what I saw in 2016 with the last Fox News poll. Hillary was still ahead, but in the tabs, the independents by double digits had moved to Trump. That's when I knew he would win. And that's what people are beginning to look. Will they start to make changes for next year, like the border? It means that they could have done it a while ago. They could have done it yesterday, and they're doing it whether it's Katie Hobbs in Arizona because it's going to be the election year. Americans aren't dumb. We do want solutions. We don't want problems to be maintained by the Republicans because it's bad for Joe Biden. But it means the Republicans have to remind the American voter about what these people did to this country and what they will continue to do once and if they ever got rehired.
So will we have a deal on immigration, Tommy? Or will Republicans withhold it as not to give the president a win? Because if he can cobble together 60 votes in the Senate, and if they can present a package to the House,
I think you're going to have to see immediate action on the border for people to feel like they've seen any type of improvement there. But when you talk about changing things, change their strategy at the border, change their strategy in talking about the economy, change the interest rates. What about changing their candidate? I think this Obama part is more important than maybe we even understand. Obama is a kingmaker within the Democrat Party, similar to the way Donald Trump is a kingmaker within the Republican Party. Obama's not on the ticket, but could his wife potentially be? I'm not going to rule that.
Chooses.
And I'm not going to rule that out yet because I think we're in for something surprising at the convention. I think the Democrats maybe getting a little closer to looking at the impeachment inquiry, maybe not protesting so much, maybe putting a little more heat on Hunter Biden. I think they're trying to do everything they can to push Joe out the door gracefully. And if he still clings on, I think they're going to rain something down on him. And I think Obama's going to be the one to do it. Because if Obama says Joe's not our guy, I don't think the Democrat Party is going to go against Obama. I think they'll get rid of Joe before they're going to go against what Obama
and Hillary's
wants.
sitting in the front row going, pick me, and Obama's like, anyone but you, dear.
Hillary. Yes, it's never going to be
They
Kamala.
tried her before they
It's never
failed.
going to be Hillary.
ABH, anybody but Hillary, ABB, anybody but Biden. I mean, oh my goodness. So can I ask you a question?
Please.
So what is it going to take for Republicans then to shift and to start to tell the American people how they're going to make their lives better?
Well, that was one of the mistakes they made on Obamacare, and they didn't have the goods there. So right now, you know, while they are strategizing how to take back the Senate and how to take back the presidency, they better have some of those very specific policy issues that you and many struggling Americans want because they haven't heard it quite yet. Boom.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.